Well, I did not expect to be talking over an hour about this, but here we are. So I'm going to wrap it up now. I'm following my family. It's an unwritten motto um, of because my family was trying to help me a lot during my financial, since my late teens, waiting for me to smarten up, shall we say. They grew up in a completely different generation than I did, and they would never ever pay to own something, rent to own something. That's not even right. Have a payment plan for something. You pay, quote unquote, cash or credit card, but you pay it out immediately. You pay for everything up front. If you don't have the money, you don't buy it. The only thing that they rent to own was their mortgage. Period. You buy a car cash or credit card and pay the cash, or cashier's check. You pay out immediately. If you can't afford it via the money you have in a bank account, don't buy it. And I grew up in that environment. I grew up, and I can't believe it didn't sink in with me at all until I was in my 30s. And so times are different now. Straight up, times are different now, because stupid things are stupid expensive. But overall, I still like to pay debit for everything. Because it comes out of the checking account, and I do not like to put stuff on the credit card unless I go home immediately and pay for it. We do have some of those credit cards that give you points and bonuses and whatever else like that. I don't mind that at all, but I don't like paying interest on literally anything. I really don't. And it took me a long time to get there, because that's wasting money. That's my money going to absolutely nothing besides interest. So I'm not frugal, clearly not frugal. And I do enjoy buying what I want to buy. But again, I also, as people have seen, this hobby can be stupid expensive, straight up. This Lego hobby of ours can be really expensive. Excuse me, I got the burpees now. It can be really expensive. Like, I wouldn't mind having the Titanic set. I wouldn't mind building the Titanic set. I have no place to display the Titanic set, nor do I want to put the money out for the Titanic set, for a set that would be nice to have, straight up, but I have no place to display it, no place to store it, no place to build it. And so why am I buying it in the first place? And it honestly is one of the main reasons to this day that set number 10030 is right there as my footstool and not opened. That's probably the chief reason that it's not opened, because I have no place to display it. I have no place to build it. I have no place to store it. It's a huge set, and I don't have the wherefore. And again, if I was a massively huge Star Wars fan, like some of my friends out there, I would have it. I would put it somewhere, but I'm not a huge Star Wars. I like Star Wars. But it's not a way of life like Star Trek is. So it sits there, and it's been sitting there since Jason gave it to me over 15 years ago, or whenever he gave it to me. It's been sitting there. It's completely wrecked now. The box is completely destroyed because it's been my footstool. But I don't care. But it sits there because I have no. So I don't go by the Coliseum. I would have loved the Coliseum. I would have loved that set, maybe, to build. Sure, would have been fun. The Coliseum, all those big sets that Lego puts out, the $1,000 sets and the $800 sets, the $600 sets. The most expensive set that I bought recently is, well, where is he? I think he's buried. I got Optimus Prime somewhere here, still in the box. And the only reason why I bought Optimus Prime is I wanted to gift with purchase that time, because that was the Blacktron remake of the Invader. I think it's called the Invader. And I wanted it. So we drove down to Sherway the day of the gift with purchase that day. And I walked into the store and they said, how much do I have to buy to get the gift with purchase? And they said $150. And I'm looking around the entire store, and I'm seeing all these beautiful, again, Lego is going so far above and beyond right now in catering to a whole bunch of niches the botanicals, the architecturals, the speed racers, forget the regular lines, the motorcycles, the Vespas, the Rolling Stones, like all this stuff is wonderfully detailed, wonderfully thought out sets, just gorgeous sets that I will not buy for me, because if I had $1 billion and a huge house, I would buy them. And I would sit there and I'd build them and display them someplace and then take them apart and, donate to somebody, whatever. But I don't have the time or the space or the money or the huge want for those sets. What I did want, for no reason whatsoever, is this set. Now, so I would buy this set, and I did buy this set. This is my 4th copy of this set. I bought 3 other sets. Now, this one came to me very, very cheap. Somebody had it for $50 on the marketplaces, and it's completely sealed. And I'm hoping it has the right pieces inside, because I've seen some people get ripped off lately. But I like the guy, so I'm sure he didn't rip me off. So this is my 4th set of this specific set number. I have the other 3 on display up here, which I should bring to a show sometime. And so I keep this guy because I don't have any more place to store another one. but I wanted him because this is what I'm actually interested in. And so I'm very, very picky now. And so my pickiness is reliant on the limited storage, the limited money, and the limited time. If any one of those changes, so I have unlimited money or unlimited storage or unlimited time, it would change. I would get more sets, more new sets. But as it is, and again, I'm not, I really covet that set. No, they're nice sets. I've said this many times. Lego is just fantastically awesome right now with the sets they're putting out. Like, for me, there are some duds, but there's other people that think they're the best sets ever. So it's, again, classic space versus castle. So some people are going to love that specific theme or model or whatever. The Vespa, I think that's really cute. So why did they put all that money into that Vespa? What a waste of spaces. I don't think so. I think it looks great. The pyramid. Oh, that's what a crappy set. I've heard people love the set, the pyramid. They love it. All the power to them. Keep on doing it. Like, honest to goodness, Lego, you're killing it right now. For me, you are absolutely killing it right now with all the various ideas that you're getting out there. Even the dreams, which I don't necessarily even understand, but people love it. So you keep on doing what you're doing. As for me, I'm loving the used market. And even that, and I mentioned this before, my used selling has plummeted beyond belief. I bought that UFO set, 3 weeks ago now. I think it was 3 weeks ago. And it's the last one I bought. I look a lot. I don't look every day now, but I look. There was 2 lots that I would have just loved to have because it was all classic space. But I didn't get them, and I didn't get them. No, I'm happy. I'm hoping somebody else who is a fan got them, and they can do something with them. Because as we know, I don't have anything to worry about on that front. I have more than enough as it is. But had that person not bought it, I was going to buy it for sure. But I didn't get it, and I'm not losing sleep over it. So I don't jump on things the way I used to. I go, nope. Just say, hey, is this still available? Oh, it's pending. Perfect. I'm happy. Let them have it. So, like I have a say in it. See, I got water this time. So anyway, to wrap all this up in a nice bow, to go back to other things, So one of my biggest stresses back in my 20s was my finances. And it was a huge stress. It was a huge, I don't want to pick up the phone. So of course that contributed to my depression. That contributed to my, why do I want to be here tomorrow? That angst that comes with that kind of, so it was an external physical impetus of like, I really hate life. And so I've been there on that, and so you get, and again, that wasn't the sole um, mosquito or bee stinging me that made me depressed and thinking that I don't want to be here the next day. There was a whole bunch of stuff. Again, my parents' divorce was still going on. Well, not then, but and I didn't have. I had beautiful friends. I've always, my whole life, I've had beautiful friends, so that's never been an issue for me. Very forward. Again, I mentioned this so many times in this YouTube channel. I am the single most blessed person on the planet. Straight up, I am. With the friends I have, either here online or the ones I grew up with. So my best man I've known him since I was like a teenager, and I have friends, really close friends, that I've known since nursery school to this day. So that's 52 years I've had the same friends. Sorry. And I know a lot of people, I know the great majority of people out there in the world do not have that. They do not have the close friends, the close kinship. The joke is a friend is somebody who will come over and help you. A close friend will come over and help you bury bodies. I'm not saying I have that kind of friend. I'm not saying that. Because I don't. I do have a really kind and decent and wonderful people in my life, and also, this is also very important, and a lot of people don't have this, and I did. I have fantastic role models for almost anything I want to do better. The finances, I couldn't have asked for better role models than my dad and my friends who are very good with money and investing and all that stuff. And treating the dollar with some respect, because again, back in the day, my teens and 20s, I had no respect, no actual respect for money. Now that has changed to the point where I don't respect money itself. Some people, not necessarily my friends, some people, that's all they respect is money. I don't respect the money itself because it's just a piece of paper, quote unquote. I respect what the money can do for happiness and sadness and contentment and safety and security, and not the opposite, which is what I was going through in my 20s. And so when you start respecting what that does in your life, your personal life, as I said, it took me a bunch of years to get it all straightened out. But the second I walked into the bank and asked for a mortgage, they said, absolutely. Nothing can surpass that on that financial idea. I remember that vividly to this day, and it's been 21 years, 22 years ago. Some people think getting a mortgage is like, go buying a quart of milk. For me, it was like the most astounding thing in the world, because I honestly was looking around for Mr. Cuddies. Yes, you would qualify for a mortgage, and I'm looking around for my dad. I thought my dad was in the room. Like, nope. I walked in on my own. Didn't need a co-signer. It was like all straightened out. It was utterly fantastic. It was one of my most, I wouldn't say proudest moments, but it was one of the most significant moments in my life. And I will never forget that. And in the end, I still look at this, how I conduct my financial affairs to this day. I'm not like a miser. I'm not Scrooge where I gotta hoard every penny and make sure. I've known people that are acquaintances and family and friends that make sure their money works for them, like with every single step. I can't be bothered with doing that. I'm not bothered doing that. Happy for them that they do that. That every single dime has to work as hard as possible for every single step. No, I don't care. We donate tons of stuff to Value Village. We don't need that money because I don't want to put the effort into it. Again, I don't want this thing to go too long, but we were looking for dining room chairs because our ones are worn out, and so we go into marketplaces to look for dining room chairs, and we had one listing in the area. And it says, basically brand new, never used chairs. 4 of them for whatever, $150, whatever it was. I can't remember the number, but it's around there. And we go out and look at them and said, first of all, they're used. Second of all, they're loose, they're rocking. And that's what ours are doing now. Oh, you just need an Allen key to tighten them up. And he brought down the wrong Allen key. Whatever. And so before I would feel really guilty about walking away because we drove over there. We said we want to look at them. We want them. And we got there and they were not perfect for us. They were fine chairs for somebody else. We don't want them. And so we walked away, because in the past I would feel guilty and I would want to buy them to keep that person happy. And even though it's a detriment to myself. Sandy and I looked at each other and we said, no, they're nice chairs. They weren't bad chairs. They weren't ratty chairs, but they were rocking. They were not level, and they looked used, and they were loose. And yes, an Allen key could have tightened them up, or the threads could have been stripped. I don't know. We didn't have an Allen key to test it with. so we walked away. And I'm getting used to this now, walking away from a deal if it doesn't feel like a deal for us. Not to be all, bitch, oh, this is crap, and why are you wasting our time driving all the way over here? You should pay us that we wasted our time coming here. I'm not like that. I'm not like these authoritarian type A personalities that say, oh, I'm going to make my best bang for the buck, and you're gonna kowtow to what I want. No. Oh, sorry, dude. These aren't for us. Have a nice day. And we got out of there. And so we're still looking for dining room chairs, by the way. But I don't want to be a prick about things, but I also don't want money to be the focus of my life, and it's not. And this isn't even the focus for my life. I have a billion videos on YouTube about it right now. This Lego is not the focus of my life. It's a fantastically fun part of my life, but it's not my focus. My focus is 2 floors above me, sleeping right now. Both of them. They're my focus. They're my center. They are what's worth living for. And again, 25, 30 years ago, again, here's the data point, when I was thinking casually, not like right then and there, but casually, that maybe I don't want to be here anymore. I'm depressed and whatever, and things are going wrong, and finances are sucky and whatever. I had no idea what my future held. I had literally no idea. I can only see, the analogy is, because I've used this my entire life. The analogy is, you're in a little rowboat in the middle of a thunderstorm in the middle of the ocean. You're in this little tiny boat and you feel so alone, and the waves are crashing over your head. The creditors are calling. You can't seem to keep a job. You're feeling overwhelmed. As I say, the world's crushing in on you. These waves are crashing over the bow, and you have no visible hope anywhere. My point is, just that visualization of you in the rowboat and the world's crashing in on you, big waves smashing in you. You have no idea that the shore could be 20 feet over there. You're thinking that you're in the middle of the whole big, huge Pacific Ocean. There's nothing around for days. But you don't know that in that storm. You cannot see the shore, which could be, not necessarily is, but could be just 20 feet off the front bow. And I don't know how, in my head, in my 20s, that I knew, fundamentally in my core, I knew that tomorrow would be a different day. It might not be a better day. It might not be a worse day. You don't know. You can't guarantee either way, but you can work on it and just bring little baby steps to make a little bit of improvement. Just put one foot in front of the other. Some days that's all I could do, straight up, is to put one foot in front of the other, take the next step. And I got through it. Now, again, bad times might come again. I'm not holding my life's great now and everything's, my life is great. But so it's going to be great till the end of days. I don't know that. I do what I can as a Boy Scout, be prepared for any such contingencies. But I do find myself very thankful. I mentioned this numerous times in the channel. I am very blessed to be here. I am very blessed to know the people I know, both here on this channel and my friends that I get to have coffee with every weekend. My family, I still get to see my dad. I miss my mom. It's been 12 years now, 13 years. But I get to see my dad. I get to hang out with my relatives. I get to hang out with my friends. I have the most beautiful, wonderful person in the world that I got to marry. And I have a wonderful kid who's now 15 and he's going through teenage stuff. But in the end, none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened had I did something different in my 20s, where I went down instead of up, where I looked down and spiraled down more and more. And I was pretty spiraled by then, by the way, but I could have spiraled more, and I stopped myself. And it was agony. It was absolute agony. to claw my way back up. But it happened, and I'm 56. I'm 57 in a few months. I'm 57 now, and I look back at the last 30 years, and I wouldn't have changed a thing. I wouldn't have changed a thing, because all that stuff made me who I am today. So don't the other, sorry, not to wrap this up again, but don't think that the negative stuff, that if somebody's going through something negative now, you want to forget, and it should never have happened. Everything makes you who you are. Like, seriously, everything makes me who I am. I've been regaling stories on the YouTubes for 15, 16, 17 years now. Everything makes you who you are. And I have a million stories. I have a million stories of all these things that have happened. Like, the TELUS was just one of them. Like, there was a whole bunch that I could have gone into. But that's the most poignant one for this story. But I have a million stories about this kind of stuff that made me who I am today, and made me thankful for who I am today. And so I wouldn't have, I have no idea what I would have been had I been financially solvent my entire life, like putting away money when I was 8 years old and not buying Lego sets or Hardy Boys books. I have no idea if I was that kind of person. If I was the Alex P. Keaton chasing the almighty dollar, I have no idea. I've never been that person. Even during my fixing years of that, I was never, money becomes the most important thing in the world to me. No, money is a tool, just like my hammer in the garage. It's just a tool to get where I need to be, or get things done the way I need to get done. And so I've never ever put money above me. I also didn't want money to be frivolous. So I think right now I have a very nice balance of understanding that money gets me. We just bought a new car. I buy Lego, blah, blah, blah. But, I don't want to keep on spending money frivolously to buy stuff we don't need, that we can't display, that we can't have room for, and that would just put us into debt again. We are a single income family. We make it work. Sandy does so much around, finding the deals for the food and all that stuff. Like, she's a good shopper, and she takes care of things. So, and she runs the house. I helped the house as much as possible. But we are one of the few people in this generation, that these years, we're a single income family, and so we don't have the disposable income that double income families have. But we don't seem to notice that we don't have that kind of money, because we live well within our means. She's focused on it, and I'm focused on it, but it doesn't become our lives. It doesn't. And it's not our lives. We do not chase the almighty dollar to make sure we have the almighty dollar, doing 8 times the amount of work that some of my friends do. We don't need it. We are very comfortable and very, very happy. And again, those people who want to focus on the money, absolutely. And I love listening to people who do that, because they have a better appreciation of the je ne sais quoi of money that can do. I have friends that invest money a lot, and they, as I say, they make sure their dollar works for them at all times in every way. I glean stuff off them, and I call up our investment person and say, hey, how about this? How about that? And we talk to him for a while, and we're doing fine in our investments. So that's something I thought in my entire life. In my 20s, I thought I'd never, ever utter the words, our investments are doing fine. Because again, in my 20s, I had no money for investment. I had no money to pay my bills. So that's what it is. So wrapping all this up, be kind to yourself. Let yourself up off the carpet. That stops the spiral right there. I could have been so hard on myself for being in the hole that I was in, even though 100% I was wrong, but I didn't beat myself up over it. I was wrong. Dave, you're wrong. Take the next step. How are you going to make it right? Talk to smarter people. Read a smart book, The Wealthy Barber. I don't know if that'll help now. It's been a long time since I read it, but somebody just dropped it off. I think it's one of my friends or friends' parents dropped it off for me to read. I'm not exactly sure I got it, but somebody was concerned about my finances, and so they gave me that, and I said, "Woo!" And I love reading, so I read it. Anyway, so that's it. That's all. That's really 24 minutes. That's all I have to say. Everybody out there, stay safe, take care, be kind to yourself. Again, I'm gonna wrap up with that, and I'll talk to you soon.